boys and girls, and welcome to Writer's Workshop for today. I'm going to try to get this a little straighter here. I hope you practiced storytelling yesterday and you picked a story from your heart map to tell about, right? Maybe you told a story about hitting the baseball at a baseball game, or maybe you told a story about a favorite memory to a park, or a sleepover with a friend. So today, what you're going to do is, now that you've practiced telling that story, and it has parts, you're going to plan out for your book which parts are going to go on which page of your books. Okay, so you're going to plan across the pages. So remember the story I was telling you guys about how we went to the beach and flew kites? Do you remember that story? Well, that story had different parts to it, right? I didn't just have a page that just had on here, right, a kite and a beach. I didn't just say, I went to the beach and I flew a kite. I told you all the parts that happened. I told you a story. And so at Writer's Workshop, from now on, for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be telling stories. And so I want you to plan what part today of your story you're going to tell on each page. If you have this book at home, it might be helpful to kind of tear it apart today, or maybe don't staple it, and see how many pages you're going to need to tell your story. Okay? And so I'm going to show you how I would plan my story across pages and how you are going to plan your story. Okay, you're going to practice that. So I said that whenever we went to the beach, the first thing we did was we packed our lunches. Remember I told you guys that? We packed our lunches. So on the first page of my story, I'm going to show you how I packed our lunches. This is going to be my packing lunches page. I had the morning we packed lunches, right? That was the first thing we did on that day, all right? Then I need to think about what happened next. So that's page 1. I haven't even got to the beach or flying kites or eating my lunch, right? So that was page 1, all right? So today you're gonna plan what's the first part of your story. If your mom or dad or someone with you wants to write on a Post-it and put it on there, okay, this is the first thing I'm gonna tell. This is the first thing that happened in my story. You could do that. And then when we start writing, you'll remember, all right? And then I have another page as a 2 on it because I need to tell the second thing that happened in my story. So the first, we packed lunches. Second, we set up a picnic on the beach. We laid out our beach towels, we set everything out, and we were getting ready to eat. That was the second thing to happen. All right. The third thing that happened was we went ahead and ate lunch. And I might want to tell you that I had a sandwich. I think I packed an apple and some chips, and I had lunch on the beach. Do you guys remember the fourth thing that I said we did that day at the beach? We flew kites over the water. And it was so pretty. We got our kites out and we all flew. And so those flew our kites. So those were the 4 things that happened, 1, 2, 3, 4, in my story. I didn't just have one page that just said, I went to the beach. No, that's kind of boring. I'm telling you a story about how we packed the lunch, all the yummy things I packed. Then we set up our picnic on the beach with our towels and our lawn chairs. And then the third thing that happened was we went and we ate our lunch. And you could tell me what you had, or I could tell you what I had. And then the last thing is we flew kites, right? That was the last thing we did in our story. So when you think of a story in your head, you have to think of all the parts. And so today that's your job. Think of your story, think of all the things that happen in your story. And maybe your story only has 2 parts. You might only need 2 pages. Maybe your story has 3 pages. You only need 3 pages. Maybe your story is really long and there's lots of parts to it and you need 4 or 5 pages. But I want you to think and practice retelling your story. And as you're retelling, say, okay, that's what that part I'm gonna put on the first page. All right, that part I'm gonna put on the second page. Oh, that part I'm gonna put on the 3rd page. And then, oh, that part I'm gonna put on the last page, right? What happens in the beginning, middle, and end of your story. All right, boys and girls, so today you don't have to necessarily write. I just want you to practice telling that story and plan your pages out. Plan what you're gonna tell on each page. All right, boys and girls? So remember that when you're at Writer's Workshop, you are a storyteller first, and then you're a story writer. We've gotta get really good at telling stories about ourselves so that we can put them onto paper, right? Because like Miss Grogham always says, we can't write about things that we don't know about. So we have to be able to tell stories and to know things to be able to write about them. Okay, so today plan out your pages, and I'll meet you back tomorrow so we can start writing our books. See ya.